Hello, this is Dale Matthews, and I'm joined by Mike Jones. Hello, Mike.
Hey Dale, how's it going?
Well, I'm I'm concerned about transparency in local government.
Hmm.
I can see people going, okay, where's how do I switch off of this? Okay,
Yes.
transparent. If you're watching this show, you do want to know what's happening. I mean, otherwise, why are you watching this? So, a warning to people who don't care about what's happening: stop watching this show.
Right.
Okay.
Now
Um,
it's funny. We had a whole show basically before the show began
yes,
about
we
this. A
did.
whole
Yes, we did.
whole debate about this whole deal.
In our own private quorum. But see, we didn't swear that we wouldn't do that.
Yes.
So,
But
so,
we are keeping things from you people. We are.
but we're going to share them with you now.
Yes, we are. Probably at um, too much length.
What is the reason? How did this dang thing get started with the idea of you should tell people what you're up to? You should let the people know that you purportedly represent what it is that you're doing with their money, what kind of deals you're making. Well, hasn't politics been done from time immemorial where there's a deal under the table, or maybe you start a drone operation at the airport because the guy that wants it is your biggest contributor, but you don't say that to anybody. You just go ahead and you participate in the vote without ever disclosing the fact that, oh, maybe I should recuse myself. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it, Simon. Oh, okay, thank you. He never even bothered to do that. Okay, so, I mean, go ahead and make deals with each other. Take a vote in a parking lot where there's nobody around to tell what you did or how you came to that conclusion. Why even bother including the people? In fact, as Don Reedy said, Don Reedy, on his second day in office, he was appointed, as you may recall, he said, I said something about, we'd like to keep track of what the commissioners are doing, and he said, it's none of your business what we're doing as county commissioners. That was the transparency of Don Reedy. Remember the guy that said, oh, well, my number one priority is being transparent and obeying the law. It's none of your business what we're doing as county commissioners.
Yeah.
So the next time the Daily Courier decides to quote Don Reedy as the expert on anything, would you keep that in mind, please?
Yes. But listen, just generically, and we've talked about this so much that it's boring to both of us at this point. But anytime anybody tells you this is going to be the most transparent administration, this is going to be the most ethical, uh, gird your loins because it's going to be exactly the opposite of that, and you can take that to the bank.
Okay, hold on a second while I gird
Yes.
my loins. The thing is that there are rules. The commissioners swore to uphold these rules. They swore to do so. Not only the rules of the Constitution of the United States of America, but also the Constitution of the state of Oregon. Funny, they never promise to obey the charter. Now, at times in the past, I've said to a couple of commissioners who've taken the oath, why don't you get up there and insist, well, they won't let me. And you know what? What are they going to do? Throw you out of office on your first day of office? Not swear you in because you swear to uphold the charter? I mean, the charter is our document. The charter
Right.
is our Magna Carta.
Right.
Well, okay. Anyway, the point is that there are these rules that the commissioners are supposed to obey. They promised to obey these things. They swore that they would do this. Now, we've got a little thing here which I'm going to read to you, and you can follow along in the text. And here's the text that you're supposed to, that they're supposed to obey. The Attorney General's Public Records and Meetings Manual. Even an informal get-together is subject to all of the requirements. Now, Mike, what if it's just an informal get-together? Do they have to do it?
It says yes on
Yes,
this.
it does.
Yes.
Yes. It's
Yes.
subject to all the requirements of the meetings law, notice, minutes, etc., telling the press. Now, wait a minute. We just have an informal get-together. Do we really have to notice it and keep minutes? What does it say?
Yes, it does say that.
Yes, if a quorum, which in our case means two, of the commission discusses matters that are within the authority granted to that body. So if they decide to get together, and my famous example is, and they decide to talk about daffodils, is it okay for them to do that without having a notice and minutes and all the rest of that?
No.
It is okay for them to do that because they're talking about daffodils, and daffodils are not matters that are within the authority
No,
granted to that
daffodils are
body.
very important.
Yeah, it does not matter. Mike, does it matter? No, it doesn't
No.
matter that the
Okay.
discussion is informal. It's an informal get-together, Mr. Matthews. Or it doesn't matter that no decisions are made. They're always saying, well, we aren't making any decisions. What does it say? This is what they swore to do. It
Mhm.
does not matter that the discussion is informal or that no decisions are made. It is still a meeting for the purposes of Sunday, for the purposes of the public meetings law. It
Right.
does not matter. Now, okay, so as we're looking at this, Mike, does it
Yes.
matter that they don't make any decisions?
No, it doesn't.
Well, suppose they're in a Rotary Club and they're just giving the state of the county report, and there's a quorum of county commissioners, and they don't want to inform the people, and
Oh,
they don't want to have a notice.
that's totally okay.
Yes, because the reason that's okay is that's the Rotary Club, and the Rotary Club has their four ways of Rotary, which says don't do this kind of stuff, you lunkheads. But they're going to do it anyway because it's the Grants Pass Rotary Club, you see, and they
Hmm.
don't have to obey state law. Not necessary.
I see. I see.
Not necessary, Mike. Yeah, but look, th these are big deal commissioners from the middle of nowhere, Oregon, and they don't have to obey any of these laws because they find them inconvenient. I swore I would do it, but I didn't really mean it.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because, as I've said to you before, I get a little bored at the mention of the breaking of the public meeting law too, and it's a necessary thing to put this up on the screen from time to time so that we can all read that, see what it says, and I mean, either the law matters to you or it doesn't.
Well,
You
they
know.
did swear. They swore that they would do this.
Right. And they swore to this on a number of occasions when they were running for the office too. So I that's important. It's important, and there's a reason, although it seems cumbersome, that they have to abide by this law, because otherwise, a lot of things, a lot more things than are already being done behind your back would be done, and you'd have no knowledge of it. There'd be all
But
kinds of money being spent and deals being made, and
but Dale Matthews, you terrible person. Okay, he's such a terrible
I
person
agree. I
because
agree.
he's such a tattletale. I mean, he goes to all these meetings, which is warping him. That's
Hmm.
possible. And
Yes.
he sees this happening. Mike had suggested that maybe what we ought to have up here is a counter, like they do at construction sites. It's been 15 days since our last accident. The only thing is, and this would be, it's been 1 day since they last broke the law. The only problem is it would never increment, except over the weekends, right?
Well, listen, I mean, one would hope the whole point of putting it up there would be one for entertainment purposes, and informing the public, but the other part of it would be shaming them into perhaps not violating the law anymore, because I mean, the whole point of what we're doing here is to try and get these guys to uh, to pay attention to the law here.
Well,
And
and they even have renewed their oath. They renew their oath every year now because people are calling people like the Oath Keepers. Oath Keepers? Yeah. And then, well, I swear I will continue. They decided not to this year. They decided
mm,
not to renew their oath.
hmm,
That's interesting.
how much time would that have taken? Probably less time than it would have taken them to sign the contract with Cape Junction, for the sheriff's deputy that they got down there. But
Oh, you mean
really
the one
not.
that they haven't done since July?
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. It would probably take them less time than it would take to do that. And
Okay,
yet
so
they're
why
not
did
in.
these why did these doggone rules start? Okay, am I simply not being some kind of supreme nitpicker? Oh,
Mhm.
who cares?
Yes.
Who really cares? Dale, what's the matter with you? Why don't we just have 5 commissioners, and then 2 of them can get together, and then 2 others can get together, and then
I agree
3.
with all of those statements.
Yes, why don't we just do
Word for
that?
word.
Because then we wouldn't have to worry, and they could come to united front before they bring it to the Wednesday ceremonial, so a weekly
Right.
business session, and then they could just present it as a fait accompli, as Keith Heck is always talking about.
So basically, what you're saying, it'd be like that. There was a shampoo commercial at one point where they said, "And she'll tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and then they'll tell 2 friends, and before you know it, the screen's all filled up with people that have been told." And that's what would happen if you had 5 commissioners, because 2 of them would be able to speak privately, and then one of those would go over and talk to another one, while the other one went over and talked to another one, and all of those meetings are fine because it's not a quorum. Is that basically what you're saying?
Here's one of the results, the practical results of this. That's what they were doing up in, I think it was Lane County, right?
Mm.
And they got successfully sued for $1 million.
Mm.
And of course, no one ever pays what they're supposed to pay, but they're going to pay a lot of money, a couple of them out of their own pockets because they were personally sued, and the county as well. This is supposed to be a law. Why do we even have this law to begin with? Because, does this sound familiar? Deals were made in the little back room that nobody knew anything about.
Yeah.
Now, why would we need to worry about this? In
Yeah,
our
that never
county,
happened here.
no. And so if I'm there and I'm seeing them do this kind of stuff, oh, Dale Matthews, well, why would you do that? Because we are well known in parts of this. I mean, we need to be number 1 in something. We're number 1 in corruption. Well, maybe we're not. Okay, what if we're number 2? Are you happier now?
Well, you know what? I mean, this is one of the things that I think escapes people, because corruption. What is corruption? Do the people who are corrupt feel corrupt? No, of course they don't feel corrupt. They feel that the people that are calling them corrupt are the corrupt ones. And so you never have somebody actually knowing, I am a corrupt person. That's what happens right before you go, fall on your knees and give your life to Jesus or something.
They feel that we're being overly nitpicky just because we want to take a vote in a parking lot. As Don Reedy said, what's it to you? Why should you even care what we're doing as county commissioners? It's none of your business what we're doing. And if we feel like taking a vote in a parking lot with nobody around, isn't that a lot more convenient than having to explain ourselves to people like you? Go ahead and play this is one of the most, we're coming up on our 2nd anniversary. Tomorrow, we will be talking about the most popular videos on badcounty.com of all time. And I think it's the 2nd most popular video of all time is the one that Mike is going to play for you now. Go ahead and play that one, Mike.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I don't hear any sound.
Yes, I know.
See, that's part of that anti-transparency movement.
That's right. All right, here we go.
Okay, see, it's the end of their meeting. They've now turned off the recorder. Simon Hare's going to hang up this map. Okay.
Because for a while I was having trouble trying to figure out points of reference,
Well, they're talking a little bit about county business with nobody recording.
I didn't like them hanging out.
There's a quorum of county commissioners in the room. I keep recording whenever there's a quorum of county commissioners.
Can we have you something?
No, sir. Just
Meeting is over, I think.
Yeah, just waiting for the quorum to break up, sir.
We can have a quorum because we're talking about coffee.
Yes.
The meeting is done.
We're going to put one right here so we can buy it. We don't.
Oh, are you going to leave?
We're going to talk about it.
As soon as the quorum's broken, sir.
Will you step over there, Mr. Commissioner? Just step in my office or something. I'll step up there so the meeting will be official over for this individual.
For this individual.
Thanks for all your
He hops into his office.
You've broken the law in the past, which is why I'm here.
That's great. Okay, so Simon Hare is saying, oh, he's telling you to leave, and then he takes a little hop into Heck's office as if, okay, now the quorum is finally broken. Look, the purpose behind it, I shouldn't need to explain it to these guys. As long as there's a quorum of county commissioners and you're talking about, as you said, we could talk about coffee. Quite right. But they weren't talking about coffee. They were talking about this map and the ramifications of this map, okay? And so just don't do that. That's all. I mean, if you're going to do that, fine. Just leave the recorder running so people know what it is that you're discussing. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. And that's the second most popular video because obviously Keith Heck is irritated about the idea that they've sworn an oath that they're not going to do this kind of stuff, which they're doing right in front of the camera. And as long as there's a quorum, and I told them all this many times, when there's a quorum in the room, I'll keep running. And when the quorum is broken, then I'll turn the camera off. No problems.
Yeah. And what, from where does this irritation that he has come? You know, I mean, why should he care if you're continuing to record them while they're talking about the county business? I mean, in the interest of transparency, fine. They could just even talk louder about it, you know, to make sure that it's getting onto your video.
Didn't this former head of the Gospel Rescue Mission ever have to obey the law?
Well, I would assume yes.
It makes him supremely irritated, this whole thing. Look, they tried to make a rule. Before the meeting starts in the Ann Basker Auditorium, many times people will come up, I've seen them do it before and after the meeting, and lobby the commissioners. It's very handy. The commissioners are right there. And so they'll come up before the meeting, and they'll say, now listen, about this thing about the road through my area, or about this contract that I'd like to get. I've seen them do it. Yeah. And then there's a quorum of commissioners, and they're trying to make a deal with them. This is what happened with Charlie Chase. Charlie Chase. Hello, Charlie. This is what happened with Charlie Chase. He was talking with a quorum of commissioners saying that he wanted to be on some kind of board. And I said to Charlie, you're not breaking the law, but they are, and they know that they are, because you're talking about county business with a quorum of commissioners, and there's no recorder going. People don't know that you're making this deal with them. Now, Charlie got really upset. This is when Simon Hare took off like a shot. I mean, it was like, oh, dust swirl was left behind, right? But Keith Heck kept trying to say, he did say 3 times, I know we're breaking the law, and I don't care. I know we're breaking the law, and I don't care.
Yeah.
So this is when he got into this pushing match with me, and I just kept my hands down by my sides because I knew that this would be questioned later. If I even put him up like this, it would be, now see, you're pushing back, and you're partly at fault. Yes. I didn't want to be at fault, so I kept my hands down. And so what happened? Charlie Chase lied. Hello, Charlie, you lied. He said that Keith Heck never even touched me. He told the police that Keith Heck never touched me.
Well, yeah, but that's consistent with him wanting something from them, and you know.
Well, the other
this,
totally independent observer, Terry Wharton. Hello, Terry Wharton, secretary to Keith Heck. And she swore, oh, Keith Heck never even touched him.
yeah. Wow.
Okay, so here's the thing. I wasn't angry with him. I mean, I was kind of actually like, oh, you guys are doing it again. You know, really, stop doing this. That was my attitude. I wasn't being flippant with them. I wasn't being angry with them. I wasn't yelling or anything else. It was just too boring to see it again. And Simon Hare knew this because he took off, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they just, I understand there's a natural tendency, you know, in the past, county commissioners wouldn't even get on the same elevator together because what do they have in common? County business.
Right.
They're going to talk about it. When they go to Cajo, they have, at least in the past, Keith Heck and Cheryl Walker would drive together. Well, that's more efficient, isn't it? Yes, but what are they going to talk about on the way to Cajo for their monthly meeting, you know, with the people who are saying how wonderful they are, and on their way back? You think there's a chance? Well, just avoid the chance. I know, this is tedious. We've got to take 3 different vehicles. Yeah, but the thing is, you're going to talk about county business. Of course you are. Now, if they were honorable people from the get-go, they wouldn't, but they're going to do that. And one of my favorite segments is they're on the radio and they come back from commercial and whatever that guy's name, not Carl Wilson, but the other guy, and he says, oh, while you were away at the commercial, we were talking about county business. What? How stupid could you be, really?
Well, he probably doesn't know or really care too much whether or not they were doing that.
Why do they have this rule? They have this rule because one of the #1 counties that has violated this rule and talked about county business and made under-the-table deals and little backroom deals for a generation or 2 has been Josephine County.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a rule. They say you cannot do that. You got that second little thing loaded up there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's another example.
Meeting is over, Mr.
Yeah, there's still a
Turn your
quorum.
recorder off.
No, thanks, Mr. Commissioner. Still a quorum. There's still a quorum, sir. You know that. You know what the
Meeting is
rules
over,
are. Yeah.
Mr. Matthews. Okay,
Thanks for telling me.
I'm out of it. I'm out of. Well, then you obviously have a very skewed.
I obviously have a very skewed. I'm obviously very skewed, Mike. I can't help it.
Apparently.
Just don't do it. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, and Cheryl Walker, well, he's still recording. Yeah, right. I told you that I do that. Just, if you're going to talk in a quorum, then keep recording. This is the legislative equivalent of running through a red light. Now,
yes.
these are very busy people, Mike. I mean, they've got a place to get to. And those little kids getting off that school bus with those red flashing lights, get out of the way, little kids. I'm a very busy county.
But there again, there's a very telling thing that took place. Keith Heck was angry.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he angry at somebody? If you're not doing anything wrong, then what's the problem with Dale Matthews? Why don't you offer him a donut and let him stay for another 20 minutes while you BS about cows or whatever? You know, it shouldn't matter. But the fact that you're angry means that, you know, well, that Dale's probably pissed him off in the past.
Hey, watch your language here, bud.
No question that that's taken place.
Yes.
But you know, this idea that it's just a little more than odd that he's angry about you being there. He understands, you know, the criteria that keeps you with your thing on there. I mean, if he wants to break it up, have him go. You know, I mean, he should just do that as a matter of if that's what he wants to do. But I just don't understand why not let Dale sit there as long as he wants to. What is the problem?
Okay, so the crowning achievement of Simon Hare is tearing down a building. Yes, I know it happens in many cities several times every day. tearing down, building up, tearing down, building up. But this is the #1 achievement, and I think my personal opinion is it's a perfect indicator of this county government. Okay, tearing down a building. But, okay, Simon Hare was very, very proud of himself. And so the fact that it's gone $100,000 over cost, it doesn't matter because the Courier won't report that. No matter how much we badger them, that's never going to be in the Courier, and so it doesn't exist, you see. But you can find out from us. This is one of the reasons you come to listen to us, because we're going to try to tell you what the real news is. Okay, without being nitpickers or just telling you stuff that you're not interested in. Too late, I know. Okay, so they're supposed to, when there's a quorum of county commissioners, please, they're supposed to tell you that they're going to be there talking about county business. And of course, the Dimmick Tower and the demolition of that is county business. So it was up on their calendar, and people could look at that and say, okay, there's an event coming up, and I don't think I'm going to go to that. I went because I had a question for the guys that tore it down about the 4 floors versus 3. You know, I really wanted to ask them a question. Where else are you going to get that chance? So I went, and we were the only other news media except for Channel 12. The Courier's not going to go to this, and KJO, forget about it. They're not interested. So it was noticed that they put up a notice on the internet saying that there was going to be a quorum of commissioners, and I figured it was going to be Hare and Heck. So the last minute, they took that off, and I went, this is strange. Why did they take that off of there? Well, as it turns out, Keith Heck suddenly decided he wasn't going to go, and now it doesn't need to be noticed because now it's just a social event. No, it's not, but okay, you can call it a ham sandwich if you insist. It's not really a social event, but because there's not a quorum of county commissioners, they're not required by law to tell you that anybody is going. It doesn't even exist. Strange thing for a public relations event that they don't tell people that it's happening when they're trying to, as Simon put, tout their own horn. I think he's got that analogy a little off, but okay. Okay, so.
Well, maybe it's a very nice horn.
They're going to tout it, yes.
Yeah,
I would think he would be tooting his own horn, but you can do whatever you want to if
Sure.
you're your horn, okay?
That's right.
So we paid for it, though. Okay, so when I arrived, guess who was there? Keith Heck and Simon Hare. Who would have thought that such a thing was possible? That they would say that there's not going to be a quorum, and then there is a quorum. Okay, so after this was supposed to be a gathering in the little back room of all the congratulatory members that helped tear down a building and ran it way over budget, but that doesn't exist because the Courier didn't announce it. And then they're going to say good things about each other in this meeting and record that because they're required to do so when there's a quorum, and there's a quorum. And so very interesting. Does this seem like there's a pattern? A very interesting thing happened at the end of that. Why don't you go ahead and play that?
I think having that clear space,
absolutely. Yeah.
now you can kind of begin to put that in your head and say, okay.
Don't forget the recorder is now off. Their recorder is off.
It'll probably never happen again, but I'll
I was just going to say, we were
No,
hearing a year
I
ago
haven't
when
been
we
shy
were
about
out
talking.
talking
And I
to
will,
potential developers, just come back to me.
This is county business.
in the room on our breakout session talking about projects like this.
Because it's easier to see. That building was just like right there. It was in the way. I know it's hard for some people to go that way.
Be really good at this.
The meeting is done.
Yes, sir, there's still a quorum in the room.
Oh, okay, I'll leave the room.
It seems undoable.
The meeting is done. I'm out of the room.
There's still a quorum.
I do appreciate it, and I feel.
Mr. Matthews, I'm telling you one time.
You'll
there
have
is
to
no
call the
quorum.
police if that's the case. Do not talk about state law, sir. It's state law. You know it.
There is no quorum.
I'm not going to play a game with you, sir.
I'm not, trust me, I would care less to play a game with you.
Yeah.
Now look at where he is.
Great to see you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
This Keith Heck's version of no quorum.
Pleasure to see you again.
Sure.
Hey, you can't shake hands with that guy. You're not in the same room.
You can't see it, but his feet are half in and half out of his office.
Other than what we want.
So I'm thinking, is he going to stand there forever like this? This is his version of no quorum.
We're going out soon. Everything's movable around me.
Really?
He's backing up. He's trying to get out of frame there.
He is trying to get out of the frame. He's back about a foot. I can see it because I move my head around. The camera doesn't see it. Okay, then here comes the secretary, the one that said he never touched anybody. This is Terry Wharton. Terry Wharton.
It's not way too long.
That's what she looks like. Okay.
All right.
Isn't that delicious? Okay, so
Again, I don't understand the irritation. I just don't.
So does it really matter if they want to get together and talk about what's next, and maybe the money part and how to sell this thing? Remember, they have no plan for what they're going to do with the property. They spent all this money and they have no plan but they talk a little bit about the plan and how they're going to promote this. Why would anybody in the county be interested in their plans for what they're going to do next? Can't we talk about that in private? Now, here's the most important part of that whole video. I don't keep a camera running everywhere I go, please. I really don't do that. As soon as he backed up further, because Terry wanted to go inside of his office to talk to him, then I backed out of the room and I took the camera with me. As soon as I was out of the room, Keith Hecht walked back into that room, started talking with people, looked over, saw that I was standing there in the hallway looking at him like, what are you doing? He came over, closed the door, and locked it. And locked it.
Nice.
Do you really need to know anything more than that?